Here we are again in this data set, and what we are going to do in this video is to find the central tendencies of variables of interest. And what I am going to do is I will briefly explain the data set like I did at the beginning. This is a variable view of the data set, and this is a data view. The data view, what we see here are all these numeric values of our data. We have, as you scroll down, we have 59 of these cases. That means we have 59 of you who responded to the survey, okay, or 59 of you, your responses were recorded here. Let's take a look at variable view, and the variable view includes all these specific variables that we asked you to respond to. Okay, and again, this is the variable name, and this is the variable label, this column here, and it has specific questions in terms of the survey. And in the values, it includes what specific values represent specific type or category or specific value. Okay, and the values are especially important to when it's categorical variables or nominal variables. This is where I put them. For example, if I click here, 0 is female, 1 is male, and 2 is other. If I don't have this information, it's just 0, 1, 2 there in terms of the responses recorded. So it won't make sense to anyone, okay? And similar for ordinal, it's also important to put these. As you see that for ordinal, I just put 2 of these, and this is also what you see in your original quadric survey. Since it's ordinal, with the 2 ends, I pretty much know what's in between, right? So 1's the strongly disagree and 7's strongly agree. Okay. So this is about, I haven't defined the missing yet. This means for all this missing data, what are you going to label them? And the default for SPSS, I'll show you some of these here. Maybe come over. We have quite a few. And in SPSS, the default is labeled by 1 dot there. If you can see, this is these are missing for these variables. In this case, also has this missing here again. Anyways, so this is missing. Since we did not specify, and we just use the default, which is the dot. That's fine. That's what the system, the software recognizes as missing. If you put something else, then you will have to make sure that you also change them here. And these are just extra information for you at this time. You don't have to worry about any of these. Okay, and pretty much these are the things that you may need to know. And decimal means how many decimals after the decimal points we have there. For example, age, we have 1. Actually, we probably don't need to have that decimal point for age. Oh, we do, since we have that decimal here. Anyways, so these are just some basic information for you. and you can also check these specific parts if you're interested in them. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can find the central tendency statistics for your for your interested variable. Okay. The most used tab is this analyze. When you do any analysis, you will go analyze. We go analyze in descriptive statistics. We go frequency. I have some played there. I'm just going to put them back. Or you can click reset, which is what you will see at the beginning. Now I want to see I want to check these some of these variables central tendency, which is in the statistics you see here central tendency, mean, median, mode. But before we check them, we need to know what kind of variable is good for looking for a median or for mode or for mean. This you have learned from the textbook. For mean, it's usually continuous variable, or we say that as interval or ratio, because we calculate basically the distance of the variable. For ratio or interval, I'm going to just close out here. I'll let you know in SPSS, it's labeled a little bit different for all these data. Ratio or interval, sometimes we label them as scale. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze to say I want to check the and one thing here is you will need to click the variable name, which is these short names, and the default shows you the label. Labels are usually quite long, so it's not easy to find. I'll just go by variable name, and now you see that it's much shorter. So I'll go, let's just find distance, the physical, how far away Russia is from America, and let's take a look how y'all have answered, and let's take a look at the mean. And you can add something else, for example, minimum and maximum. Okay, for now, I just use these for demonstration purpose. Okay, I'll just go ahead, continue. And it asks if we display frequency tables. For this one, we don't really want the frequency tables because we probably have a lot of these different inputs, and that's not our interest at this time. So I just click OK. And now it gives you the response. And you see that the N represents the sample size, and we have valid if there is a sample size, which is 58, and we have missing 1. And the mean here means the mean distance from Russia to United States that you all put here is 4,014.43 miles. And the minimum distance among all responses is 1 mile, and maximum is 10,000. Okay, so this is one example that you can find the specific central tendency, and that's for continuous variable or for scale variables. You can call that. Let's take a look at another one for medians. As you recall, for medians, we usually um, look for the ones that either they are ordinal or they have the responses have extreme values. Okay, in this case, I'm just going to analyze the let's say the ordinal variable, because we have a lot ordinal variables here. Ordinal are the ones that you scored strongly disagree to strongly agree. These are ordinal because, as you have learned, because you know the order. However, the distance between the orders, it's not proportional. You don't know if strongly disagree to disagree is the same level as from disagree to agree, right? So this is ordinal. We know the order, however, we aren't sure they are equal distance. So let's analyze goal frequency, and I'm just going to reset and go variable view. You can pick variables that you like. I am just going to put, let's see, I'm just going to put this conservative is actually I prefer. Okay, let me pause here. Okay, I find one. I think we can take a look at this. There's a kind of more like, for example, let's take a look racist. I know for racist, you definitely we definitely will go towards one end for most of us. At least politically, people won't select two extreme opinions unless this is very, very rare case, right? So let's take a look how this goes in terms of median. Okay, and for median, usually if you want to see the quartiles, then you can select them. But at this time, I'm just going to find the median, and then if you want to take a look at the frequency table, that's fine. Oh, I forgot to select this. Because at this time, we only have, remember, 7 of these possible responses. So frequency table, that's totally fine. Okay, let's see now. Okay, for ratings on the racist, we only have strongly disagree. So about 61% and 36 of you. And the total, again here, let's take a look at the total. The total responses is 59, including one missing. So the total valid responses are 58. And here we have majority, which is the 36, are strongly disagree. And 2 and 3 are basically the next levels towards agree. So this is strongly disagree. 2 is a disagree, and 3 would be, I guess, neutral, or however you would call that. And you, as you can see that this is definitely a good way to measure to use as central tendency for responses like this. Why? Because we have very very skewed data, you can call, because most of our responses are toward the lower end. So this is one example for median. Let's take a look at another one for mode. As you read from the text, mode are mostly for, you can check mode for all of these different types of responses. but mode is more commonly used for nominal variables. So we will just go ahead and check the I'm just going to check gender for, and we can select the frequency tables because we only remember have possibly 3 options of these gender options. So we will go mode, and these, if you want to select a range, you can select, but the rest of these, like minimum, maximum, since it has so few value, you don't really need them. Okay, I'll just click go. Let's take a look. As you see that we have all 59 responses valid, and among these 59, we have 42 female, and male we have 17. Okay. So the mode here, as you see, the mode here is 0. If you recall, what we have labeled the variables here, the value, 0 is actually female. Okay. For all of these mode, the output will show you, instead of the specific name of the variable response, it shows you the number, because it's entered as numbers, and somehow the software doesn't translate when it's the output inside the table. Okay, when it's outside, it's just these labels, they are translated into the specific categories. However, inside, it's just the number. So we know the mode is 0, and the 0 here means female. And that's exactly because we have how many? 50 or 42 female, and male is only 17. Of course, the most responses are female. Okay, the mode is female here. All right, so these are the 3 central tendencies that you can find, and also sometimes you may be interested in looking for or compare the means. For example, you can go to compare means and go to means here, and I'm just going to do reset, and let's take a look at one of these examples we can do. Some of these, if you take a look of the survey, we have conditions. You received 2 different names for one question. Okay, that's the one. Some of you received one name, some of you received another name, and then you were guessing the student's name, the age. Okay, now we will compare these different conditions, basically different names, given names, and then how you rated their age. All right. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to put the condition into, hold on for a second. Let me pause. What we will do here is for this independent list, we put the condition, because the condition is not depend on anything. It's given. Usually it's some sort of category or what you will put in an independent list, which doesn't depend on, like, response doesn't depend on some other value. Okay, so the condition is given, it doesn't depend on anything. And then student age, we are interested in seeing if by giving people different names, they may score or estimate students' age differently. So we go there, put dependent list, because age this estimated age is probably depending on what kind of name is given to them. Okay, and then we click the option, and then here I am going to actually what you see here is these are the default selected statistics that you can include when we check the age difference by the condition of the name. Okay, now what we want to do is I am going to deselect this because we haven't touched on this yet, and I am going to select I'm just going to select mean and number of cases in this case. Okay, I want to see how the mean age is different in each condition. Okay, I can put a maximum, minimum if I want to, but at this time I'll just go with this. Okay, I'll click yes. Okay, we now see we have 59 cases, responses, or 59 rows, and all are included. And then let's take a look at this. These are the two different names given to you. Some of you were asked by given this name and asked to rate the age of the student, and some of you were given this name. And now we see that 33 of you were given Blake, and 26 of you were given Tyrone. And now this mean age for Blake is 10.364, and for Tyrone is 9.154. What it means here is that you will see that there is a little bit age difference, and you basically have a general idea how people responded and how different they are. Okay, in later chapters we will talk about how you can test statistically being able to tell if they are significantly different. All right. Okay. This is what I share with you today, and I want to ask you practice with this data set and practice to find these central tendencies, as well as compare means from different groups or different variables that you want to compare. All right. Okay. I'm going to stop here.